The future of Ireland's mobility allowance is uncertain. Equality law says it must be made available to all disabled age groups.
What we have to do is to devise a system and a scheme that is legal and that's in accordance with the law and the Constitution.
Late last week, the government promised to replace it in October, but those potentially affected are still concerned.
Is the intention that the replacement payment will be equal to the current allowance?
I can't preempt what is going to happen in October.
I mean, if it's not there, what are we supposed to do? I could suffer that, but it'd break Tom's heart. That'd be the end of Tom if he had to give up playing the power soccer.
Each morning in Trim, County Meath, Niall Winters travels to a local community work scheme. The money earned is used to support his teenage son Tom, who has muscular dystrophy.
It frightens me to think that I will never work full-time again. And I feel ashamed at times. I was working for a commercial glazer now at Manchester there. Next thing anyway, everything went belly up, and I'm now working on a CE scheme for $227 a week. We have to pay roughly now, £100 a week of a mortgage. The heating in our house would be another 100. We actually built the house for Tom. Heating is so important because your heart is a muscle, his lungs are muscles, to make sure he doesn't get pneumonia, so it keeps him alive. It's a matter of life and death.
He's deteriorating all the time. Like, he can't lift his arms anymore. He's still writing, but it's going to come a day that he won't be able to use his hands. The power socket keeps him going, and I just don't know what's going to happen to him if they take it all away from him.
I do have to go to my sons and daughters, and they have families too, and they have houses that they bought. And I do tell them, Tom needs to go to Limerick. No father likes going to their children and asking them for money. But it happens.
Just can't wait to see the little angel.
In Rosslare Harbour, Wexford, Sharon Colgan has been relying on the mobility allowance since 2004. She understands that the government may need to make changes.
The love of angels have kept me going, that I know I have somebody by my side. Oh, that is deadly, boy. Look at that. She is absolutely deadly. I'm not a religious person, but I love St. Teresa of Avila and I love Archangel Michael, and I know when the two of them are around me, I'm contented, I can deal with everything. But I mean, I do get stressed. I mean, nothing has come out to say whether they're going ahead with it or not in September, October. But if they're going to take it away, yeah, make it tighter. It is absolutely stunning. There's a lot of people out there that have it, that might necessarily need it as much as someone who's fighting.
To help assess and streamline the current mobility allowance system, the Department of Health circulated a document asking participants to rank their disability on a scale of 1 to 8.
Here's number 3. Who should be eligible? Cannot walk any distance, 30 to 50 metres. Cannot see, and they're asking people to categorise their disability and how disabled they are. I mean, I'm fine, and I'd say a good few are like fine about to being reassessed again. You know, I mean, if it was to keep my money, I wouldn't care what they do, to be honest, once I knew at the end of the day my money was safe. If they're really going to do something about this, it should be monitored and checked every year. You're claiming the social welfare. That's checked every year. So why can't the mobility allowance be checked every year?
I've seen this form that's been sent out at the moment. It's shunting people in a certain direction. And to say you can just, bunch people together, it's not going to work. People won't stand for it.
Paul and Frances Butler in Cork fear if their combined €400 mobility allowance ends, it could be a step back to the 1970s.
back in the old ways. People with disabilities were institutionalised and left on the margins of society. Even walking down Patrick Street in Cork, you wouldn't see that many people with disabilities out and about getting on with their own lives. You might see the odd person in a chair being taken out for their day out kind of thing, but you wouldn't see anyone just going about popping into Marks and Spencer's to grab a quick tiramisu or something.
I go herbs and potatoes, carrots, peas. I find it very therapeutic, very relaxing. You're a good old boy, isn't it? Ireland is going backwards instead of forwards. We had just started seeing people out on the streets, sitting in bombs, having a drink, whatever. But all that is slowly going away.
You can't be trapped indoors and you can't be trapped in your own home. They said it was going to be showers later.
Okay, come on.
Off we go. Without the ability of getting out and being part of the community, you might as well just lock us up in institutions. Slow down. Is this Formula One or what?
Good morning, Claire Louise.
You're bringing me to Tallaght.
Yeah, you're coming to Tallaght today.
It's not only state-funded transport that could be affected by changes in mobility. Over 1,000 private taxis are fitted out specifically for wheelchair passengers.
Okay, well, these seats here, these fold up into the wall to allow me to get my wheelchairs on board, basically like that.
Driver Manny McGuinness relies on Mobility Allowance Custom.
So, you outpaces today, is it?
Yeah.
If you want to set up in the wheelchair accessible taxi business, one of these vehicles would set you back about 50 grand brand new. Oh, Claire, you were saying that your boyfriend's in a wheelchair. How did that all happen?
Yeah, he had an accident a few years ago, and he was a builder, and the bucket from the JCB fell on top of him.
I myself would know most of these people on the mobility allowance. I bring them week in, week out.
The mobility allowance, it's just over €100, and it means a lot because I'm going to a physio appointment in Tallaght Hospital. It's very good for my disability, like to keep it at bay. I went to get the bus a few times to go out to appointments in Tallaght, and I missed an appointment because the ramp wouldn't work onto the buses.
You have a good day.
Okay, thanks very much.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. She's going to be about 20 minutes, half an hour, so there's no real point in me going off anywhere. The wheelchair users that I would normally pick up, if they cut that mobility allowance, I am going to see some of them go.
And he's not going back into the wheelchair taxi business. There's just no money in it. Now, bear in mind,
I don't know what sort of scheme that they're going to bring in to compensate for it, but it's a real turn of events, and you just have to diversify the best you can, really, you know.
to get a wheelchair into your taxi. It's not easy, I'd be the first to say it.
People say that you can just go back to being a normal taxi driver, just picking up off the road and picking your current customers and stuff. For me, that's not really possible because I specifically bought this bus to carry wheelchairs. This pays the mortgage.